These are pretty burned, so yeah, it looks like having the packing tape or the other kind of, or whatever tape on there really helps lubricate the blade and prevent this. I'm hoping that I can sand all this down and, you know, recover something useful out of this. Otherwise, I've got a lot of wasted work. So anyway, I guess that's the next step. So, well, actually, next step is to get this paper peeled off, glue these up, and then get to sanding. So we will see what it looks like here in a few. Well, you know what? Used it for what, 1 minute, and I'm very happy that I made this little workbench here. Now, only bad thing about it is I don't have a chair to sit my lazy ass in. So maybe that's the next project. Be back for the next step. All right. Anyway, having that workbench is really handy. It made it a hell of a lot easier to sand this out than with something solid to rest on than trying to put it on my leg. However, one problem I ran into is that the saw kerfs that you see right there, well, piece is cut very thin on this side. And I'm worried that when I sand this down on the outside, that I might actually end up breaking through on this side. We will see what happens. I have a couple of ideas about what I can do to fill this little gap right here, so I'm going to try to take a bare minimum of wood off of this when I do the sanding on the outside. But anyway, for now, I'm going to go ahead and drive forward and see what happens. I've got to glue this glue the bottom piece onto this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave myself a little bit of extra on the bottom there. That way I'm taking again a bare minimum off of that right there. I have to be very careful when I sand that down. So next step is to get this glued up, and we'll see what happens from there. So, all right, well, what I did was I took some wood glue and some cherry sanding dust, because that's what that spot is made out of, and I went ahead and filled that gap here a bit. And like I said, I'm a little nervous about it, but you know, at this point, there's not really much I can do. So the only thing I can do really is to put this thing on the belt sander and see what happens. So here we go. Alrighty, don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, I've sanded basically all the way down, and it is, well, not quite paper thin right there. So I'm gonna have to figure out something to cover that up, or basically end up just using this as a test piece. So yeah, damn it, because I was liking the way it looked. It's just, all right, you know what, for now let me go ahead and finish sanding the rest of the bowl, and then I'm going to see if I can't figure something out. So talk to you in a bit. All right, well, 15 seconds after I turned the camera off. That's what happened. I was trying to sand it, and the stress here was just too much. Broke it off of there. Yeah. All right, you know what? Simple enough. I'll go back and I will have a do-over, and we'll try again. So, talk to you later. Bye.